Welcome to 7 Days Report, your reliable source of information from all major news from around the world. I'm your host, Vasilios Nikolaos Vitsilogiannis, and I'm happy to have you here with us this evening. Every weekend at 12 p.m. and 9 p.m., we bring you the latest headlines, in-depth analysis, and insightful commentary on the stories that matter most. Whether you're tuning in for a recap of the week or looking for a deeper understanding of global events, we've got you covered. Let's start with our first news. Hamas has declared its intention to imminently release Eden Alexander, the last known living American hostage held in Gaza, in a move widely seen as a significant gesture ahead of U.S. President Donald Trump's visit to the Middle East this week. The announcement, made on Sunday, comes as part of ongoing efforts to secure a ceasefire, reopen border crossings, and restore humanitarian aid to the enclave, which has been under Israeli blockade for over 2 months. Eden Alexander, 21, an Israeli-American dual national originally from New Jersey, was serving in the Israel Defense Forces when he was kidnapped by Hamas militants kidnapped him during the October 7, 2023 attacks. He is believed to be the only surviving American among the 59 hostages still held in Gaza, with only 24 thought to be alive. His family, who have endured 583 days of uncertainty, expressed overwhelming relief and gratitude, calling the news the greatest gift imaginable and thanking U.S. officials for their persistent efforts. According to Hamas officials, the release is part of broader negotiations aimed at achieving a ceasefire and facilitating the delivery of humanitarian supplies. The group has been in direct talks with U.S. representatives in Qatar, with Qatari and Egyptian mediators playing key roles in the process. President Trump's envoy, Steve Witkoff, is expected in Tel Aviv Monday to oversee the handover, which may require a temporary pause in Israeli military operations. Israeli officials have clarified that while they were not directly involved in the negotiations, they had planned for such a scenario and emphasized that military pressure contributed to the breakthrough. The move is seen as a goodwill gesture by Hamas and a potential catalyst for renewed ceasefire negotiations, though concerns remain in Israel about the broader implications for ongoing military objectives. Alexander's release, the first since the collapse of the March ceasefire, is being hailed internationally as a promising step toward ending the conflict and securing the return of all remaining hostages. U.S. President Donald Trump arrived in Riyadh on Tuesday, kicking off his first major international trip of his second term with a high-profile meeting with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The visit, marked by elaborate pageantry and a focus on economic diplomacy, underscores Trump's intent to strengthen ties with the Gulf Kingdom and secure substantial investment deals for the United States. Trump was greeted with a grand welcome at the Royal Terminal, where he descended a purple-carpeted staircase from Air Force One and was met by the Crown Prince. The two leaders exchanged warm greetings before proceeding to a formal coffee ceremony and a luncheon attended by top officials and prominent business leaders from both countries, including executives from tech giants like NVIDIA, Google, and Boeing, as well as Tesla and SpaceX CEO Elon Musk. The agenda for the visit centers on deepening economic cooperation. Trump is expected to finalize agreements aimed at attracting over $1 trillion in investment to the U.S., with a particular emphasis on technology, energy, and infrastructure. The U.S. delegation includes leading business figures ready to sign major deals, reflecting the administration's focus on job creation and economic growth at home. Beyond economic matters, Trump and the Crown Prince are also set to discuss regional security issues, including efforts to achieve a ceasefire in Gaza, strategies to contain Iran's nuclear ambitions, and measures to stabilize global oil prices. Saudi Arabia, which has recently sought to ease tensions with Iran, is keen to showcase itself as a stable and open partner amid ongoing Middle East volatility. Trump's choice of Riyadh as his first overseas stop echoes his 2017 trip and signals a renewed commitment to U.S.-Saudi relations at a pivotal moment for the region. The visit will continue with stops in Qatar and the United Arab Emirates, where further investment and security discussions are expected. Kim Moon-soo, the presidential candidate of South Korea's Conservative People Power Party, PPP, has reaffirmed his commitment to advancing research and development, R&D, as he continues his campaign tour of the Gyeongsang-do region for a third consecutive day, During a stop in Jinju, South Gyeongsang Province, Kim announced plans to designate the area as a special zone for satellite development and exploration. He laid out an ambitious vision for the nation's space industry, including a pledge to launch a Mars mission by 2045. South Gyeongsang will become the heart of Korea's space future, Kim declared, emphasizing the region's potential to drive innovation and economic growth through expanded support for aerospace R&D and collaboration with local universities. Kim's broader space development strategy includes conducting 3 additional space rocket launches and developing indigenous launch vehicle engines by 2027. He also set a target for South Korea to achieve its first lunar landing by 2032, positioning the country as a leader in Asia's growing space race. The PPP candidates' proposals come amid a nationwide push for technological advancement and economic revitalization. Kim has repeatedly highlighted the importance of elevating the Ministry of Science and ICT to a vice prime ministerial level, signaling a government-wide commitment to science and technology. As Kim's campaign moves through the Gyeongsang-do region, he continues to garner attention for his science-driven agenda. His pledges have resonated with local leaders and industry stakeholders who see increased R&D investment as crucial for regional development and national competitiveness. Kim's tour underscores the PPP's focus on innovation as a cornerstone of its platform ahead of the upcoming presidential election. A fragile ceasefire has taken hold between India and Pakistan after 4 days of intense aerial and artillery exchanges, marking the most serious military escalation between the two nuclear-armed neighbors in years. The hostilities erupted following a deadly militant attack on tourists near Pahalgam in Indian-administered Kashmir, which India blamed on Pakistan-based Islamist groups, a charge Islamabad has denied. In response to the attack, India launched Operation Sindoor on May 7th, targeting what it described as terrorist infrastructure across 9 sites in Pakistan and Pakistan-administered Kashmir. According to Indian officials, the strikes focused on camps and headquarters linked to 2 notorious militant outfits, Jaish-e-Mohammed, JEM, and Lashkar-e-Taiba, LET. Both groups are designated as terrorist organizations by the United Nations and numerous countries, including Pakistan itself, though Islamabad has long denied supporting them. Jaish-e-Mohammed, founded in 2000 by Masood Azhar, is a Deobandi jihadist group with a primary aim of separating Jammu and Kashmir from India. The group has claimed responsibility for several high-profile attacks, including the 2019 Pulwama suicide bombing that killed 40 Indian security personnel. Despite being banned, JEM continues to operate under various aliases. Lashkar-e-Taiba, established in the mid-1980s by Hafiz Saeed, is another Pakistan-based militant group with the stated objective of merging all of Kashmir with Pakistan. LET has been linked to numerous attacks on Indian soil, most notably the 2008 Mumbai attacks, which left over 170 dead. Its headquarters in Muridki, Punjab province, was among the sites targeted by India during the recent strikes. While the ceasefire has brought a halt to open hostilities, tensions remain high. Diplomatic relations remain strained, with both sides maintaining punitive measures, including visa suspensions and trade embargoes. The situation remains precarious, with the international community urging both nations to pursue lasting peace and address the root causes of the conflict. Delegations from Russia and Ukraine convened in Istanbul on Friday for their first direct peace talks in over 3 years, as Turkey intensified its diplomatic efforts to mediate an end to Europe's deadliest conflict since World War II. The meetings, held at the historic Dolmabahce Palace along the Bosphorus, also involved high-level discussions with U.S. and Turkish officials, underscoring the international urgency to halt the war that has killed tens of thousands and displaced millions. Ukraine's delegation, led by Defense Minister Rustem Umerov, met with a lower-ranking Russian team headed by Vladimir Medinsky, a presidential advisor. The talks come amid mounting pressure from U.S. President Donald Trump, who has advocated for a direct summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin as the only path to a breakthrough. Trump, currently on a Middle East trip, signaled his willingness to meet Putin as soon as we can set it up, but both leaders were absent from Istanbul, dampening hopes for immediate progress. Expectations for a substantial breakthrough remain low. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky criticized Moscow's decision to send a decorative delegation, arguing it reflected a lack of seriousness about ending the war. The Russian side, meanwhile, accused Ukraine of staging a spectacle and reiterated its stance that a ceasefire could only result from substantive negotiations, not preconditions. Parallel meetings between Turkish, U.S., and Ukrainian officials took place earlier in the day, with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio emphasizing that real progress would require Trump and Putin to negotiate face-to-face. Despite the modest expectations, the Istanbul talks mark a rare moment of direct engagement and signal Turkey's continued role as a mediator in the protracted conflict. While the path to peace remains fraught, Friday's meetings represent a cautious step toward renewed dialogue, even as the world waits for higher-level diplomacy to take center stage. As we wrap up another edition of the 7 Days Report, I want to extend my heartfelt thanks for joining me this evening. We've covered a wide array of significant global events, and I hope you found our news insightful and engaging. Remember, you can catch us every weekend at 12 p.m. and 9 p.m. for your weekly major news from around the world. Stay tuned for our next meeting, where we'll dive deeper into the stories shaping our world. Until then, take care and keep informed. This is Vasilios Nikolaos Vitzilogiannis signing off. Goodbye.